Expectations by Mark Evans. Volume 5, Chapter the 3rd. An Alrightish life savagely frozen to bits.
So, well, I am so angry that if I were a newspaper puzzle, I'd be a crossword. If I were a character from Greek mythology, I'd be a fury, and if I were a pudding, I'd be an apple grumble.
Is it your daughter and son-in-law, sir?
They are the least punctual people in Britain after that dreadfully unreliable novelist Thomas Tardy.
Mr. and Mrs. Sourquill, sir?
You're later than a dead man on a delayed train.
Do not worry, Papa. Soon we shall never be late again.
Are you to stop visiting?
No, the reason for our future not latosity is this.
Is that a dog or a cat that can do impressions?
The former, but no ordinary dog, for this is...
Dun, dun, dun.
a time dog.
A what?
A...
Dun, dun, dun.
time dog.
What on earth is a time dog?
You should have said dun, dun, duh before time dog.
No, I shouldn't. Now, what is a time dog?
Dun, dun, dun.
Like a guide dog assists blind people, so a time dog assists the perpetually late.
Well, it doesn't work then. You were late.
Because we stopped on the way to buy it.
But next time we shall be as punctual as a Swiss train carrying a load of obsessive-compulsive watch salesmen.
I shall demonstrate. Note the timepiece on its back.
It is a Clocker Spaniel.
Now imagine I'm going to leave in 1 minute's time.
Excellent news.
I set the clock to that time, at which point the dog will remind me to go. You see?
But you're not leaving.
Ah, but if I do not instantly leave, the barking gets louder and crosser. How could I resist leaving?
Yet still you haven't gone.
So I might further demonstrate the dog's canine persuasiveness.
What will it do now?
Start biting me. Ow, 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 ow!
I like this time dog.
Perhaps if you leave, he will stop biting you, dearest.
Of course. No. Ow!
Good dog.
I shall distract him by throwing my watch as if it were a stick. Fetch! Phew. The biting has stopped.
Ow! Sorry. Couldn't resist having a go myself. Now, sit and listen, for my story continues. Now, last time you left my tale, I was in India, having thwarted my evil ex-guardian, Mr. Gently Benevolent's plan to take over the world using a vast army of hyper-intelligent tigers and Jim. Alas, he had escaped, leaving me in his evil fortress with my wife Ripley, my sister Pippa, and my best friend, Harry Biscuit.
We must pursue and defeat him.
I shall start making a cake.
How will that help?
It will be a thwarting Mr. Benevolent cake. I shall need flour, eggs, butter, and maybe a gun.
Pippa and I have found book-based clues as to his destination. Look, The Incredibly Lonely Planet Guide to Antarctica.
The So Rough You Probably Shouldn't Go There Guide to the South Pole.
And the Usborne Book of Unbearable Cold.
They are blank, just empty white pages.
I think those might be the illustrations.
So, he is leaving India and heading to Antarctica.
Home of the mighty ant.
No. No, Harry, home of the penguin.
Oh, then why is it not called Penguin Arctica? Oh, geography is so stupid. Oh, my thwarting Mr. Benevolent cake is ready. Yum. Hurt my teeth on a bit of gun.
We immediately set off to find a ship to Antarctica. Luckily, we were in the north of India, and the ports were south, so it was downhill all the way. We quickly reached the province of Goa and its chief port, Goa Way. The docks were full of explorers desperate for patronage. We approached one as he touted for trade, waving his compass alluringly and leaning provocatively on a sextant.
You after some? Exploring?
Yes?
It's a shilling per line of latitude, a guinea to go all the way.
We want to go to Antarctica.
Ooh, kinky. My name's Clampvulture, Ranulph Twistleton's silly middle name, Clampvulture.
Britain's bravest and maddest explorer.
The same. I've rode naked across the Sahara. I was the first to land naked at even Newer Zealand. And I was the leader of that ill-fated nude expedition to the heart of Newcastle on a Friday night.
So, will you take us to Antarctica?
I'll take you two men, but not the women.
Sorry, why not?
Women are a waste of space, with their love of napkins, scatter cushions and flowers. No flowers in the Antarctic, just penguins, which you can put in a vase, but it doesn't look right.
Well, Mr. Misogyny, we'll just find another way to get there, won't we, Pip?
But if he is the only way to catch Mr. Benevolent...
Really? You'd rather go with a sexist woman-hater than with me?
The more you shout, the more sort of yes.
Fine. Fine, then Pippa and I shall go and find our own woman-only ship.
Right on, sister-in-law. We can race the men to Antarctica to prove our feminine amazingness.
We go to buy a lady ship.
To the ship shop.
Oh, can I go with them? I'm peckish.
Ship shop, not chip shop.
I don't mind. I'll eat a ship.
No, Harry. Besides, I will need you by my side, possibly slightly ahead of me if it gets really dangerous.
Harry and I boarded Captain Clampvulture's vessel, the SS Ice Baby, and prepared for departure.
If we get trapped, we must be able to eat everything on board. Hence, I have invented this edible table.
I don't see one.
Exactly. It was delicious. Now, to our food itself, it must be compact yet energy-filled, so I have invented a futuristic foodstuff of the future. Behold, the meal in a pill.
You have just stuck together some pate, a whole chicken, carrots and potatoes, then covered the whole thing in trifle.
Brilliant, eh?
It's enormous. You'll never be able to swallow that.
Watch me. Easy.
Meanwhile, Clampvulture did his best to keep morale up.
Do you know how many expeditions have set off for the Antarctic this year? 57. And do you know how many have returned?
I'm hoping it's 57.
None.
None.
Possibly fewer. The Antarctic even used to scare me. Luckily, I got frostbite in that bit of my brain responsible for fear, so I'm over that now.
You have been there before?
Once. It was horrific. 15 of us got trapped in the ice. Our provisions soon ran out. In the end, only I got home alive.
How?
Did you eat your crew?
How dare you, sir? A captain's sacred duty is never to eat his crew, even if they do start to look tasty.
Why are you grinding salt onto us?
To make you seasoned explorers.
Perfectly plausible.
Meanwhile, Ripley and Pippa had bought a ship and provocatively moored it next to ours.
The SS Great Woman is the world's first fully female, fully democratic ship.
They said women were physically incapable of voting. Well, this boat proves we can.
I was unanimously elected captain by the entire crew. Well, Pippa, we haven't got any other crew yet.
She made me vote for her.
It was a free election.
As long as I voted for you.
Lies! Votes for Pippa to shut up? All in favour say aye. Aye. Motion carried, shut up Pippa.
Democracy on expeditions is ridiculous. When you're cold and starving, there's no time to vote on who gets eaten first.
Sorry, eaten.
Right time to get going, I think.
But before we could set off, we were interrupted by a new arrival.
Excuse me, Captain Clampvulture, but may I come with you to Antarctica?
He won't have women on board.
I'm sure he can make an exception for this tall, strangely alluring lady.
Sorry, you won't argue for a place for me on his ship, but you will for this trollop.
Don't worry, it's clearly not a woman, just a rather obvious transvestite.
Outrageous! I am offended like only a femininely French woman can be, and thus delicately shall lady slap you. And prove my womanity by twirling my hair around my finger, doing a wee sitting down, and then falling in love with a horse. My name is Mademoiselle Femme d'Accord, and I have not any manly madness.
Apart from that stubble.
It is peachy, Lady Fuzz.
And I stand corrected, but surprised, and you shall not come on my ship.
Why are you off to Antarctica?
I left my handbag down there. When I went to look after the poor orphan penguins.
What a sensitive female soul you are.
Oui.
If the SS Misogyny will not have you, you are welcome aboard my ship.
our ship.
Oh, an all-girl ship. Full of good family stuff like pajama parties, sewing and crying for no obvious reason. Any room for some of my female friends?
Well,
Aye, girls! Look, 57 extra crew. All women who, like me, enjoy having their hair done once a month, whether they need it or not.
welcome, ladies. This is your captain speaking.
Says who?
Says democracy.
But we didn't get a chance to vote.
I'm sure you won't mind me being captain.
Let's see, shall we? Votes for me to be captain instead. Aye! C'est moi.
Hang on. You can't do that, Pippa. Why did you put your hand up?
Did I? Oops.
Oh, democracy's rubbish.
So let our race to Antarctica begin, and may the best man win, or woman, by which I mean me, because je suis défaut in woman.
What a beguiling laugh.
Oh, stop flirting with her. It's pathetic.
Ready, steady, explore.
This was a vital race, not just for thwarting Mr. Benevolent, but for defending the reputation of male kind. If we lost to the women, our cosy Victorian patriarchal society might collapse. For the first few days, the ships remained neck and neck, and our voyage was easy, though we did lose a couple of crew.
Well, you always have a deserter or two at the start of an expedition.
But where could they have gone?
No idea. Still, good riddance to midshipman Yummy and petty officer meatballs in gravy.
As we sailed south, it began to get colder. We saw seagulls in jumpers and fish wearing scarves and blowing on their fins for warmth. Fortunately, we were also now some distance ahead of the SS Great Woman.
They probably keep stopping to ask for directions. We're men. We know better. Plus, we're lighter and faster due to the crew who keep disappearing without any reason at all.
Have we lost more?
Crewman Steak and Chips disappeared last night. And third mate Bacon and petty officer Eggs this morning.
Soon the sea began to ice over like a date with a racist.
We are nearing Antarctica.
I have mixed some slushy sea with fruit juice to make a yummy iced beverage. Though oddly, the more refreshingly iced brine I drink, the thirstier I get.
Nearly there, Pippin. Good, eh?
Oh! Why did you hit me?
Oh, just a laddish arm punch indicating high spirits. I'm certainly not tenderizing you, just in case.
In case what?
Nothing.
Finally, the sea froze solid, gripping our vessel in an icy fist. We were stuck fast. The captain gathered the few of us left and, using all his exploring experience, gave an inspirational speech.
Men, we're trapped. Let's eat.
Though we were in grave peril, we were still British, so Harry and I hurried to our cabin and dressed for dinner in white tie and tails. But on our return, the rest of the crew had disappeared, leaving only Captain Clampvulture.
Where are Able Seaman Soup, Lieutenant Chicken, and Third Mate Crumble with Custard?
No idea. Oh, if only petty officer Cheeseboard was still alive.
My God, you've eaten them.
Oh, I knew that's how he survived before.
I was forced to eat them. We're trapped with no supplies.
We have plenty of supplies.
Not anymore. I threw them overboard.
You monster. Let me ask you one question.
Did they taste nice?
No, Harry. Did you deliberately get us trapped so you could eat us?
I had to. I must have human flesh. Person pie. Man ham. Human us.
What?
Like hummus, but made from people.
What about Taraman Salata?
Nice one.
Harry, don't encourage him.
Lancashire hot pot? Huh? If you put some fruit on someone with mild asthma, you could have strawberry wheeze cake.
Yes, but I really fancy a biscuit.
That's my name.
As Clampvulture advanced on us, I searched frantically for a way out, and suddenly spied something that might just save us. All that remained of our supplies was a solitary sprig of parsley, but it might be just enough. I threw it onto Clampvulture's head, then grabbed a mirror, wrote serving suggestion on it, and thrust it in front of his eyes.
Ooh, that parsley does make me look appetizing. I must eat me.
He pulled a knife and fork from his pocket and started to tuck into himself.
Always save the last set of cutlery for yourself.
He started with his legs and ate his way up until he was just a head and a pair of arms. Then, one by one, he consumed his arms, and finally he ate his own head from the inside out.
Oh, it tasted good.
His cutlery clattered to the floor, and he was gone.
That man is so full of himself.
That was the most horrific, yet sort of impressive thing I have ever seen. Alas, we are now trapped without supplies, though at least we are still warm inside the ship.
But at that moment, the ice that held us clenched its frozen fist, crushing the vessel, and we could barely scramble out before it sank.
And now we are trapped without supplies and no longer warm inside the ship.
Oh, I am cold, Pip-Bin, and hungry, but mostly hungry.
Do not worry, old chum. The cold will take us before hunger does. We will simply fall into a painless, frozen sleep.
But I'm like leftover rice or a spare souffle. I'm not meant to be frozen.
The cold sapped our strength. Numbness took our limbs.
I have no sensation in my fingers. Look, I can stick this knife in them and I feel nothing.
Those are my fingers.
As our life force ebbed away, however, I caught a hopeful glimpse of something coming towards us across the ice.
Harry, could this be our salvation?
No, it is some ants.
You mean penguins?
It was indeed dozens of penguins, and they quickly surrounded us, embracing us with their flightless avian warmth.
We are in white tie and tails. Perhaps they think we are also penguins. Thank goodness for a proper dress code.
The penguins placed us on their feet and waddled away. After several hours' travel, we saw something looming on the horizon.
It is the SS Great Woman, safely moored at Antarctica.
The girls beat us here.
No! Our cozy patriarchal society may be destroyed.
This thought was more than I could bear, and I collapsed in man-defeated shock. When I awoke, I was in a soft, warm bed, with Mademoiselle Femme de Corps at my side. As I gazed at her beauty, her delicate 5 o'clock shadow, and surprisingly prominent Adam's apple, I realized I had feelings for her, and was smitten with the love that dare not speak its name. I was French-sexual.
Je t'adore.
Ooh la la!
Get off my husband, you French flibberty-gibbet.
Rightly.
And get off that French flibberty-gibbet, my husband.
I was just wiping something off her lips.
With your own lips.
I would never kiss another woman, not if I knew you were watching. Ignore that last bit.
It's true, he didn't kiss another woman, but he did kiss
Another man.
Mr. Benevolent.
Great. You're having an affair with the most evil man in history.
Affair? One kiss is hardly an affair.
So you admit you kissed him, her?
Oh, girl trap, not fair. Look, rightly.
Talk to the fist, Pip, because the face ain't listening.
Talk to the... Ow!
As I nursed my nose, I suddenly had a thought that made my spirits rise like whiskey on an escalator.
Oh, joy. I did not get beaten to Antarctica by a woman, but by another man, albeit an evil one in a frock. The patriarchal society is safe.
Sexist as well as adulterous. I cannot bear to look at you anymore, Pip.
My plan to ruin your marriage by disguising myself as an irresistible French lady has worked.
You fiend! I hate you, and I hated that kiss.
Oh, admit it, you felt something.
Only revulsion, and a strange tingling I put down to incipient frostbite, and not pure erotic excitement.
Are you glad my penguins rescued you from an icy death?
Your penguins.
So loyal and hardworking penguins. Even as we speak, they are taking us south.
I looked outside and saw thousands of penguins hauling on ropes, dragging the ship towards a vast, icy palace carved out of the frozen landscape.
Behold my fortress of ultimate nastiness.
Sounds like fun.
What?
The acronym. Fortress of Ultimate Nastiness, F-U-N, fun.
I was carried from the ship and into Mr. Benevolent's lair, where I was reunited with Ripley.
Pip, I've been thinking, and I forgive you.
Ow!
Not.
And also with Pippa and Harry.
Hello, Pip-Bin. Oh, bloke in a dress. Mademoiselle D'Accord is a bloke in a dress.
Mr. Benevolent, you fiend!
Well-coordinated fiend. Look how well his bag and shoes go with his dress. Say what you like, but that man can accessorise.
Tell us what you are planning, you monster.
All shall be revealed soon.
Actually, all is being revealed now. You've tucked your skirt into your knickers.
We were taken underground to a large chamber hollowed from the ice and tied up in the centre. Around the walls were chained, haggard but brave faces, ones we recognised.
Why, they are explorers. Isn't that Dr. Keith's splendid adventure?
The man who tried to eat Mount Kilimanjaro.
Such a hero of mine. He looks so much like a giant ice cream.
And there is Lord Wiltshire, who discovered Wiltshire.
Amazing how no one had spotted it all those years. Such a shy, unassuming county.
That is Barrington Bravewang, who discovered the Northwest Passage to Manchester.
These are all 57 missing explorers whom I captured.
Why?
For my evil machinations, of course. Tell me, why do you think explorers explore?
I know. One's an alloy, the other's a type of nut. No. Sorry, that's the answer to the question. What's the difference between steel and a type of nut?
Explorers despise normal society. They prefer pain, hardship, and doing unsavory things with their own urine. Because social interaction makes them awkward and embarrassed, particularly that with women. And behold, my ship has brought 57 women here.
So?
So these are the bawdiest, sauciest women in the world. Cheeky dancers, erotic wigglers, foreign women who just sound, frisky, and East End girls who can make almost anything sound like an innuendo. One for every captive explorer.
As we watched, the girls filed in, and each took their place in front of a bound explorer.
Let the sauciness begin!
At his command, the women sauced it up, but good. Some danced while flashing their undergarments.
La 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 woo!
Others made lewd remarks.
Like exploring, do ya? I've got something you might like to discover, know what I mean?
And others simply stood beckoning with a distinctly cheeky finger. The result in each case was the same. The explorers muttered awkwardly.
Well, I say, golly gosh, and lady cripes.
And blushed bright red. Indeed, they blushed so hard that we felt the heat of their embarrassed cheeks from where we stood. It was not just we who felt the heat. It also made the ice of Antarctica start to melt.
With their infinite saucy stamina, these women will melt Antarctica's ice, flooding the world.
Why?
Because I've invested all my money in boats, swimming trunks, and houses on hills.
This is about money.
Yes. And making sure Bournemouth is under 8 feet of water. I never liked Bournemouth.
Though that is understandable, I cannot let it happen. I will thwart you.
I don't think so. Look where you're standing.
Only now did I notice we were in a hollow at the bottom of the chamber, and it was already filling with melted ice.
And so you will drown, unless you can evolve gills in the next hour or so.
I'll have a go. One gill! Actually, no, I think I just turned my ear inside out. Ooh, I can hear my own brain. So quiet.
So, happy death day, Pip-Bin, for I go now.
No kiss goodbye.
Blinking heck.
It was sarcasm. I don't really want one.
Why, yes, you do.
Thanks.
Right, time to go.
Will you be leaving us any food?
No.
Oh, don't make me hungry. You won't like me when I'm hungry.
I don't like you now. In fact, to taunt you, I shall leave this picnic hamper just out of your reach.
No! Oh, I can see sandwiches. Scotch eggs. Those mini bits of smoked salmon roulade you only seem to get in picnics. Oh, I'm so hungry. Oh, must reach food.
Harry strained against his bonds, and with a desperate, hungry effort, he broke them.
I knew I should have brought the fat, greedy, idiot-resistant chains.
Oh, thank goodness I can eat.
Yes, Harry, or you could rescue us.
Oh, top idea, Pippa.
But your demise is only postponed until you drown with the rest of the world, or buy one of my houses on hills. For Antarctica is still melting.
Actually, Mr. Benevolent, it is not.
As I looked round the massive, icy chamber, I saw that the bawdy women had not only stopped saucing it up, but we're actually freeing the bound explorers.
Oh, then noble Sturt's bravery has only succeeded in melting our hearts.
Gosh, I mean, fancy exploring the mysteries of love with me, old girl. Even if I never, ever looked you directly in the eye.
Plenty of other bits of me to look at, eh?
Oh, blimey, criminy.
With one last ice-melting blush, the women and explorers ran boldly and explorerily out. And now it was just the four of us and my thwarted nemesis.
So, Mr. Benevolent, like a roast chicken one is trying to keep warm, your plan is foiled.
Oh, so contrived. But I shall escape your clutches. Penguins, to me!
At his command, hundreds of penguins waddled to him. Bizarrely, each had a gas canister on their backs with a hose leading to their mouths. With a surprisingly dexterous flick of the flipper, they each released a valve and suddenly began to expand faster than Queen Victoria at an all-you-can-eat sausage buffet. As they grew, they floated en masse into the sky, Mr. Benevolent tethered beneath them.
Behold, my penguin epaulet. Penguins can fly, they just need pumping full of helium first.
I shall catch you yet!
Says the man trapped in the middle of Antarctica and already freezing to death.
Rubbish! My teeth are chattering with excitement!
Ice knowing you, Pip-Bin.
That is way worse than foiled! I will stop you!
But as he floated away with his helium-filled penguins, I knew my words were as hollow as a politician's promise. For the cold was already biting like an icicle-toothed alligator, and even surviving would be a struggle, let alone thwarting my nemesis.
Good Lord, excellent Earl and marvellous Marquis. How did you survive? Did you find a spare bit of fire in your back pocket?
No.
Did you knit a lovely jumper from frost?
No.
Did you turn cold to heat by reversing the laws of thermodynamics?
Yes.
I knew it!
I meant no. But if you return next time, you shall hear how we escaped Antarctica, how to bake the best scone in the world, how a terrible event changed my life forever, and most importantly, how I am lying about the scone.
Bleak Expectations starred Richard Johnson as Sir Philip Bin, Tom Allen as young Pip, Anthony Head as Mr. Gently Benevolent, James Bachman as Harry Biscuit, Geoffrey Whitehead as Clampvulture, Sarah Hadland as Ripley, Susy Kane as Pippa, Mark Evans as Sundry Silent Penguins and Explorers, and was produced by Gareth Edwards. Bleak Expectations by Mark Evans. Volume 5, Chapter the 4th. A Writerly Life Made Dreadfully Different.
Fiddle-dee-dee and tickle-dee me. I'm in a good mood, Sir.
Should I summon a doctor, sir?
No, my happiness is not due to a disease such as delightitis, glandular fever, or that most flamboyant of illnesses, influenza zaza. It is because I have purchased a new musical phonograph to drown out the irksome whittering of my perpetually late daughter and son-in-law.
I think I hear them arriving, sir.
They must not see me happy. I shall turn up my anger stat. My crossness has gone up to 11. You may let them in.
Mr. and Mrs. Starkwill, sir.
Papa, forgive our latitude.
Where is your husband?
Here I am, on Lily's back.
Why? Have you forgotten to walk?
No, that only happened the once.
It is because he has broken both his legs.
That's a shame.
Thank you for the sympathy.
It's regret. I wish I'd been there to see it. How did it happen?
In a competition.
What competition?
It was a break-your-own-legs contest.
At least you won.
No, he tripped as he went to fill in the entry forms. Hence I carried him up the stairs.
But for my future movement, behold my miniature horse-drawn wheelchair. They are trained to respond to simple command sounds. This means forwards. This backwards. This left. This right.
Oh, I tire of your wittering. Serve well, the phonograph.
Yes, sir.
Put on Beethoven's Concerto for Orchestra, Duck Call, Bell, Horn and Swanee Whistle.
How delightful.
Here comes the Duck Call solo.
The small horses have smashed through the wall, though not before smashing my body painfully into it first.
Oh, how lucky your legs were already broken, dearest.
Stop your whining like a coward and listen, for my story starts again. Now, last time, you heard how I thwarted my evil ex-guardian, Mr. Gently Benevolent's plan to melt Antarctica, flood the world, and make everyone live like fish, or very wet humans. Alas, he had escaped, and now I, my wife Ripley, sister Pippa, and best friend Harry Biscuit were trapped in an icy hell.
We are doomed to be frozen and forgotten like leftover casserole at the back of a freezer.
Still, casserole, yummy.
No, Harry, there is no casserole.
What? Oh! Ugh!
Infuriated by lack of casserole, Harry stamped his feet like a frustrated toddler or angry Irish dancer. And a huge chunk of Antarctica broke off, creating a mighty ice ship.
That was entirely planned.
Yeah, right.
In those days, Britannia truly ruled the waves, and all ocean currents led to Britain, so we were quickly borne homewards. Though, as we headed north, the climate got warmer.
Wow! I've grown! I'm massive!
Or the ice ship is melting.
Prefer my theory. Look, I'm a giant!
As it shrank, one by one we climbed on each other's shoulders, eventually forming a short, wobbly human skyscraper. Luckily, we soon spied the cliffs of Dover, which were more patriotic back then, being not just white, but also red and blue.
Ah, England.
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 France. Sorry, I'm looking the wrong way.
Leaving the savage countryside, we returned to cosmopolitan London, with its wishy-washy social attitudes and extensive wine list. The great city was reassuringly familiar, teeming with people, affluent and disease, though there was one shocking change. By law, outside the British Library stood a statue of Britain's favourite writer, which for years had been me. But now...
Look, my statue is different. It has put on weight, and a beard, and a different name.
That's because it's not you.
What? Then who is it?
It says it's a Charles Dickens.
I instantly hate him and think he's rubbish. What's he ever written?
Apparently, lots of incredibly popular books, whereas you haven't written anything since your last book about Mr. Benevolent, Our Mutual Fiend.
I haven't had time. I've been busy saving the world. I want my statue back.
Enraged, I returned home, where a surprising missive awaited me.
Dear Pip Bin, open brackets. Incidentally, dear is just customary, not a term of affection, because I actually hate you, close brackets. Just to let you know, I've decided to give up being evil. It's getting too much like a proper job. I've run out of dastardly ideas and my knees hurt. Best wishes, Gently Benevolent. P.S. I'm definitely not trying to lull you into a false sense of security while secretly plotting my most evil scheme yet. P.P.S. Oh, I can't be bothered.
This at least seemed good news. For in truth, I was beginning to feel too old for competitive thwarting. If I did it at all anymore, it'd be strictly amateur thwarting. Perhaps at some local thwarting club where I could join their Sunday team or coach the Colts.
At last, some free time. I shall write a new book and re-become Britain's favourite author.
And I can rededicate myself to helping feed the poor.
What about you, Ripley?
I shall go and serve the community.
So noble.
And I shall invent inventions and contract contraptions.
Alas, before I could start my new book, I was disturbed by a visitor.
Yes?
Ben.
I am him, he. Hang on, I know you. You're the man from the statue, but smaller and less made of bronze. Though you are still covered in pigeon poo.
My name is Charles Dickens.
As he said this, however, his hair slipped over his face and a bit of his nose fell off. And I suddenly doubted his identity.
Hang on, are you really Charles Dickens?
Of course I am. Born February the 9th, 1812 in Landport, the second son of 8. Born to John and Elizabeth Dickens.
How biographically convincing. Sorry to ask, it's just I've been fooled over the years by evil people in disguise.
I can imagine. With my empathetic novelist's brain, and certainly not because I'm the one who's done the fooling, because I'm not. I'm Charles Dickens. Look, I've even got a case with his, my initials on it. I call it my CD case.
Why are you here, Mr. Dickens?
Please, call me by my nickname. As your name is contracted from Philip to Pip, so mine is contracted from Charles Dickens to Chickens. Anyway, I imagine my taking your title has upset you.
What? No, I certainly didn't instantly hate you or think you were rubbish.
Nevertheless, to decide once and for all Britain's favourite novelist, I propose a literary duel. We each write a book, then have a public reading, and may the best book win.
A novel off?
Exactly. Whoever loses retires and lets the winner do anything they want, be that writing, dressing a small dog as a cowboy, or revealing themselves to be somebody else and then taking over the world.
You've got a deal, Chickens.
I suggest we go to a special writers' hotel I know, deserted and slightly sinister.
Sounds ideal.
I'm back, Pickbin. Oh, who's this?
This is Mr. Charles Dickens.
My friends call me Chickens.
Pleased to meet you, Chickens.
You're not my friend.
We are both going to write books, then have a novel off.
Hey, maybe I should write one as well.
You, Harry.
Yes.
Actually, I haven't got time, for I have invented a new system of communication using budgies. They memorise short messages in Morse code, then fly to the recipient and tweet them. Here is one now. Saw a cat fall into a sink. G-I-A-M-W, C-L-A-C.
G-I-A-M-W and C-L-A-C.
Guffaw in a manly way, chuckle like a chap. This will make me rich enough to fund my next idea, which I call face volume.
Stopping only to pack the 3 vital P's of writing, pen, paper, and pajamas, Chickens and I set off for our hotel. On arrival, we were greeted by the manager.
My name is Delbert Clampvulture. Welcome to the Overbook Hotel.
Named because it is always full.
Because it is built on the remains of an old book burial ground. Anyway, welcome, Mr. Ben, Mr. Benevolent. Is not here, you'll be pleased to hear. Do you have any luggage?
I have this, my writing case.
Why, that bag is big enough to hold a man.
Yes, but it definitely doesn't.
Really? Because I'm pretty sure I can see the outline of a person inside.
No, you can't, no. Did you know I live in Gad's Hill House in Kent, overlooking the Medway, a mere minutes from Ordnance Street where I grew up, because I'm the real Charles Dickens?
I didn't. How interesting.
Anyway, I must get to my room to write. Bye.
The contest had begun, and I, too, hurried to my room, which was perfect for writing.
You have a desk, a chair, and the world's largest tin of biscuits.
Why does the bathroom sink have 3 taps?
It is a writer's sink. The taps are hot, cold, and coffee. Now, if there's anything you need, don't hesitate to ask.
Well, actually, I'd quite like...
I didn't say I'd answer.
I immediately settled down to write, though first I unpacked and had a coffee, then stared out of the window, had another coffee, and finally began. Though not before cleaning my room thoroughly, having another coffee, and then reading half the Encyclopedia Britannica for research while having 7 more coffees. Finally, I started, or would have done if I hadn't heard another guest arriving.
Better go and say hello. It's not procrastination. It's just good manners.
But this new arrival was somebody surprising.
Ripely. Why are you here?
Because when I went to the cavalry officers' mess, no one would flirt with me.
So that's what you meant by serving the community?
They said I'm too old. I fear my flirting days are over. At least until I'm about 80, when I can say things that actively cross from flirtatious to sex-pesty and get away with it because of my age. I can go to restaurants, and when the waiter says, "What will you have, madam?" I can say, "You, please," and everyone will just laugh at my wizened presumption.
And until that happy day...
I've decided to write a book.
What? No. I forbid it.
Worried I'll be better than you?
Never, not, and no, Armando. I'm just concerned. Everyone knows it is physically and mentally impossible for women to write novels.
Tell that to Jane Austen.
I shall.
I immediately set off to tell Miss Austen, but it turned out she was dead, somewhat confirming my thesis.
She died of novelitis.
Not a real disease.
It is.
While you were checking on Jane Austen, I've written my book. It's called 50 Shades of Hay. It's about a farmer and a woman who goes to work for him. Have a look.
You cannot write a book like this.
A little saucy for you.
Her skirt was so short you could almost see her ankle. And it gets worse. She opened her door to him, which was a metaphor for other things, actually. This will never be published.
We'll see, you prude.
I'm not being prudish. There are 3 pages where it just says throb.
Rightly left to find a publisher, and I returned to my writing. As I passed Mr. Dickens's room, I could hear him inside.
Write faster.
Everything all right in there?
Oh, yes, I was just, encouraging myself. And feeling guilty about my first wife, Catherine Dickens, née Hogarth, whom I left for the young actress Ellen Ternan in 1858. Must get on. Bye.
I returned to my room and started to write, after 2 more coffees and trying to make a model of Stonehenge out of biscuits.
So here I am, staring at the blank page, blank, empty, like my mind. Ooh, is that another guest? Better go and say hello.
I left my room to greet the new guest, and definitely not to avoid writing.
Hello? Is there anyone there?
But it seemed as if there was no one, until at the end of the corridor I saw a terrifying spectral figure in a grey and white shroud, muttering strangely. I followed the human figure until it entered a room and slammed the door with supernatural force. Or maybe a hand. Despite my fear, I felt compelled to follow it in and reached for the door handle with nerves a jangle, mind a quiver, and knees a knocking. But suddenly...
I wouldn't go in room 237 if I were you, sir.
Ah, Delbert, how did you manage to creep up on me so quietly?
I have my secrets, sir.
Is it rubber-soled shoes and a thick carpet?
Yes.
Why shouldn't I go in that room?
Because it is already occupied. It would be terribly rude.
Occupied by a ghost?
No, sir, there are no ghosts here, though there are spirits.
What sort of spirits?
Whiskey, gin, brandy. In the bar.
I could do with a drink.
The bar is that way, sir. Someone will be there to serve you.
Shaken, I headed to the bar. But on my arrival...
Drink, sir?
Delbert! How did you get here before me?
That would be telling, sir.
Was it a tiny bicycle?
Yep.
So you're bartender as well as manager, eh?
I'm a jack of all hotel trades, sir, and master of 4. Specifically, bartending, disappointing breakfast making, grovelling to the rich, putting mints on pillows, and saying drink, sir, in a non-judgmental tone.
That's 5.
I never claimed counting was one of them. Drink, sir?
Oh, you did that well.
Perhaps a fisky.
A fisky?
It's fizzy whiskey. It was invented so that children might enjoy whiskey too.
The drinks industry is so thoughtful.
I looked round the bar. It was named the Scribe and Imbibe and was filled with artifacts of writing. There was a pair of Shakespeare's pants, a pair of Chaucer's pants, a pair of Jonathan Swift's pants. To be honest, it was mostly pants, and not very clean ones at that. But one thing especially caught my eye. An ebony pen that somehow seemed to be calling to me, wanting me to pick it up and write with it.
Do not touch that, sir.
Why not?
It is the possessed pen of Penrith, the most evil writing instrument in the country after the bewitched biro of Birmingham and the haunted highlighter of Haverfordwest.
How can a pen be evil?
They say it is filled with Satan's inky blood.
That would do it.
Only one man has used it, a writer who had become blocked and unable to write.
Ha! That's never happened to me.
That pen unblocked him. He wrote for 12 days without stopping and without even a single coffee.
Impossible.
By the end, he had a brilliant book, but oh, how it cost him. For shortly after finishing, he went madly, mentally evil. No one has ever seen him since.
Cripes.
That will be a guest. We have a very distinctive doorbell that sounds like a wolf.
Despite this warning, I still felt the urge to pick up the pen. But fortunately, I was interrupted by the new guest, my sister.
My quest to feed the poor does not go well. I had forgotten how awful riffraff can be.
Oh, yes. All sticky. Common.
So I thought, if you give a man a meal, you feed him for a day. But if you give a man a cookbook, you feed him for a lifetime. So I have decided to write one. How is your book going?
Don't ask. But brilliantly. How is Harry?
Oh, alas, his budgies turned on him. They all sat on the washing line outside his window tweeting rude things. Such online abuse. He has given up and gone I know not where.
At least Harry seemed to be reliably doing even worse than me. For I had to admit it, I was as stuck as a fat man jammed in a pipe doing a really, really hard Sudoku. But only a few hours before the novel off, I had no novel. Distraught, I paced the hotel corridors and once again saw the dread grey-white spectre.
Why can I not write? Tell me, O spirit.
I ran after it, but was stopped by the sound of the lift arriving behind me. As the doors opened, I turned, but instead of a person emerging, a great wave of dark liquid flooded out towards me.
No! It is ink! Ah!
I closed my eyes and waited to be ink-drowned, but...
What on earth are you doing, Pip?
Rightly. There was a great wave of ink.
Sounds like a rather obvious stress hallucination brought on by writer's block.
Rubbish. And why are you back? Has your book been rejected by every publisher in the world yet?
Actually, I'm picking up Pippa. We are both giving public readings tonight.
Rich food for poor people is a hit. I am a celebrity chef, and before my reading, I shall have dinner with some actors pretending to be my friends.
So happy for you.
And 50 Shades of Hay has not only been published, but it is already the best-selling book in history. Writing is such fun.
And so easy.
They skipped merrily out, and I felt only a sick despair. I headed to the Scribe and Imbibe to drown my sorrows, and suddenly I had an idea.
I can use the possessed pen of Penrith.
Although I might lose my soul to insane evil, at least I wouldn't be publicly humiliated. It seemed a fair trade. But alas, as I entered the bar...
No! The evil pen is gone, and I shall have no book for the novel off.
What's that about no book?
Chickens! Nothing. Why is your man-sized rating case making that noise?
Because it's full of my incredibly vivid new novel.
Let me out! Did it say, let me out?
It is very keen to get published. Bye!
He left, and I headed forlornly back to my room. On the way, I passed room 237, the room I had once seen the strange, shrouded figure enter, and I approached the door fearfully. My fear not helped by having to climb over a piano someone had left. I entered. There at a desk sat the grey-white spectre, writing away next to a huge stack of finished manuscript. What dread supernatural presence was this?
Oh, hello, Pip-Bin.
Harry, what are you doing? Why do you look like a ghost?
I'm covered in budgie droppings. Those birds hate me, so I decided to write a book instead.
You seem to have done it.
I have. Can you keep an eye on it while I go and clean myself?
As Harry washed, I read his manuscript. It was surprisingly good. Better than what I had written, which was nothing. So, loyal friend that I was to him, I decided to steal it. As he emerged from the bathroom, I picked it up and shoved it down my shirt.
All clean again. No! Where's my book?
Oh, it's gone. The budgies came in and took it.
Oh.
They really hate you.
No! I'm going to kill those budgies. Why did I mess with nature? Incidentally, Pip-bin, you have some paper sticking out of your shirt.
Do I? New type of vest.
Oh, of course.
Harry climbed over the piano outside the door and ran off with budgie vengeance in mind. But as I left the room...
Hello, sir.
Ah, Delbert! Why are you hiding under that piano?
Watching you steal your friend's book, sir.
Nonsense. I've committed no crime.
I'm sure everyone will agree with you when I tell them.
Desperate to escape, I started to scramble over the piano. But having Harry climb over it must have weakened the instrument. As I got to the higher notes at the end, the piano collapsed into Clampvulture, crushing him unto death.
Accident. That was an accident.
Nevertheless, you will pay for it, sir. I shall send the bill from the afterlife.
The novel-off was taking place at that temple to literature, the Readmore Hall. I hurried to my contest and soon found Chicken's massive writing suitcase by his side. As soon as I entered, the referee stood.
Right, well, a good clean fight, no reading below the belt, may the best book win. Now for the toss.
Heads.
Heads it is. Mr. Bin to read. New books, please.
Bleak Mouse. By Harry Pip Bin. Me. I wrote it. Chapter 1. The day was grimly misty and mistily grim, and the sounds of the East End were muted by the dreadful social conditions therein.
It had started well, and got better. I moved the crowd to tears. Laughter. And weirdly, the odd donkey impression. But then I was interrupted.
Hold on! That's my book!
No, stranger, it is mine.
Stranger? It is me, Harry Biscuit, your best friend. Sort of still. Do you know how many budgies I killed before I realised it was you who'd stolen my book?
That is a serious allegation.
And that is not the real Charles Dickens.
Yes, I am. Who, between December 1867 and April 1868, gave 76 public readings in America, and who tonight will read from his my new novel, The Mystery of Edwin Drood.
No, you're not.
Harry advanced on him, removed the wig from his head, and tried to remove the beard from his face.
Ow! Ow! No, stop! It's not fake. I actually grew a beard to make this disguise more convincing.
Mr. Benevolent.
Yes. The real Charles Dickens is in this writing case.
Oh, thank you.
It's true. I've been carrying him around, making him write a book for me. I set up this contest to humiliate you because I knew you couldn't write anymore.
But you have failed, because I have a brilliant new book.
Which is actually written by me.
How did you write something so good? I mean, you're Harry.
Well, it was hard at first, but then I found this pen and it got all easy.
Harry held up a pen that made me shudder, for it was the possessed pen of Penrith.
But Harry, that pen will drive you to evil madness.
Well, I am pretty cross with you, but I don't feel evil or mad, although, hang on, yes, I have gone both evil and mad.
You don't sound it.
I'm building up to it. For example, I feel a strong urge to kill you, Pip-bin.
Yet you sound so reasonable.
It's coming. Wait for it. Wait for it. Ah, here we go. Ah!
Harry suddenly snapped, seizing a nearby bust of Britain's favourite author and hurling it at me.
Harry, no!
I ducked out of the way, saving myself. Alas, it struck someone else.
Oh, killed by a bust of myself, is that irony or narcissism? I shall not drag my death out sentimentally like that of one of my characters. I shall keep it nice and short.
And now for evil pudding, I shall eat the denouement of The Mystery of Edwin Drood.
As Harry ate, I had a sudden realization.
Yes, with Dickens dead, I am now Britain's favourite author again.
Oh, that's a bit rich. A little overdone in places, but not bad. Oh, that's who did it. You may be Britain's favourite author again, Pip-bin, but not for long, for I am going to kill you.
Well, this is great.
Oh, don't gloat, Benevolent. You killed me once, and now I want some payback.
That's less great.
Ah!
Harry seemed to physically swell, and unusually for him, not with cake, but with dark, malicious power. Even Mr. Benevolent seemed scared, and for once, my nemesis and I were united.
Do you think we should run for it?
Yep.
As we ran, Harry ran too, but while we were running away, he was running amok. And as I fled, I could hear his cheery laugh becoming a thing of pure evil. And I knew that my best friend was now a terrifying monster, and the world would never be the same again.
No. Harry, madly evil. What did you do?
That is for next time.
Tell me now, or I shall shoot you with this pistol.
I refuse.
I warned you.
Next time, try pointing the pistol at me.
Good idea. Ow.
But when you return, you shall hear how Harry's horribleness grew like a well-watered weed. How Pippa, Ripley, and I tried to restore him to goodness, even forging an alliance with Mr. Benevolent himself. And how, though it sounds almost impossible to believe, marmalade with sausages is actually quite nice.
Bleak Expectations starred Richard Johnson as Sir Philip Binn, Tom Allen as young Pip, Anthony Head as Mr. Gently Benevolent, James Bachman as Harry Biscuit, Geoffrey Whitehead as Clampvulture, Sarah Hadland as Ripley, Susy Kane as Pippa, and Mark Evans as sundry referees, and the real Charles Dickens. The producer was Gareth Edwards.